Welcome back to the Arise interview, where we speak to the newsmakers as well as ordinary people doing extraordinary things around the world and featuring the voices at the heart of the stories. I'm Charles Aniegolu. Now, the trial of the Nigerian separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu resumed today in Abuja, but was almost immediately adjourned till early next year following drama in the courtroom. Mr. Kanu's lawyers staged a walkout in protest against the refusal of security operatives to allow some members of their legal team to enter the courtroom. The charges against Mr. Kanu include calling for secession, knowingly broadcasting falsehoods about President Muhammadu Buhari, and being a member of an outlawed group. During the last hearing in October, Mr. Kanu's lawyers said they had an application opposing the charges, most of which refer to Radio Biafra broadcasts made outside Nigeria. The country's military considers Mr. Kanu's Indigenous People of Biafra, or IPOB, a terrorist organization. Well, for more, I'm joined now in the studio by Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who is the lead lawyer for Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gonagolo. It's a pleasure being with you.
So tell us more about what happened in court today.
Thank you so much. Impression need to be corrected. First of all, there was not a walkout in court today. What happened was something we are familiar with. So lawyers, we had apparently denied access to the courtroom. So
you had no access?
Yes, lawyers, most lawyers.
Right.
That came up. We had denied access to the courtroom. So it happened last adjourned date, and we brought this to the attention of the court. We mentioned our frustration to the court about what security agents are doing. Last adjourned date denied not only lawyers, also the media. We are not allowed to come in. So we are trying to sort it out outside the court, because I narrowly escaped being lynched by my colleagues last adjourned date. So we are trying to resolve it, because it's something we consider worry, because courtroom is our division where we belong.
Right. You say you were about to be
lynched by my colleagues because they were
not allowed.
Yeah,
but what's that got to do with you?
That was a side I didn't kind of protest on their behalf before the court.
Okay.
And I told them, I mentioned to the court about what happened to them.
Right.
So this time around, I said, let me resolve it. So we are all of us, we are at the court, at door court, discussing it, trying to resolve this issue. So our bags, wig and gown, were inside the courtroom. So there was no walkout whatsoever. So, of course, you know, his international attorney from US, Bruce Fine, was here too. He has been in Abuja 5 different times to see Nnamdi Kanu. The detaining authority, the DSS, refused my access to Nnamdi Kanu. Last adjourned he was in court. And I told the court they refused my access. Then, portion to which the court also reviewed the guideline for visiting him, and which the court also authored it to include persons of his own choice, 3 persons at every given time. That order was flattered by the DSS with impunity. So, and we are at the door court discussing it. And then Nnamdi was away because we met him. We told him our frustration. Our client was in court already. We told him our frustration. They were trying to resolve it. So, court obviously was seeing us from her camera. So, discussing the situation at hand. So, as soon as the court came in, there was an order obviously from the court that we should not allow in. That was happened. So
now you should not be allowed back.
Not only me, other lawyers in the matter. I'm the lead counsel, have more than 5 lawyers with me.
That's extraordinary, really.
That was what happened, because as soon as the court came in, Nnamdi Kanu's junior brother, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, sent a text to me. He was in court. That court has just come in. So, and I made an effort to struggle to go inside court. They refused me access.
But could it be that the court was not happy with the fact that you were not already in court before the judge entered?
The fact is that it has been a regular occurrence. It happened on 26th of July, happened last adjourned date. Last adjourned date, I protested to the court in open court about the predicament of lawyers. Lawyers is the only constituency where, court is the only constituency where lawyers belong. Nobody has the right to deny access to the court, even the SSS officials. They're not going to SSS.
Yeah, but you were allowed into the court at the outset.
We're in court. Of course, we're in court.
Right.
I've already packed my books, our bags, we're all inside.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to understand is, I understand the point you're making about the courtroom being a place where lawyers have, the right to go into, but whatever the circumstances, your client deserves to be represented by you, and you were in court already.
Thank you so much, my brother. You see, what happened today, I will tell people they want to know that it's just a function of something God exposing conspiracy at the highest level. I can say it with every sense of honesty. Because ordinarily, there is no court that will proceed in that circumstance without asking for them to call me in. But in this case, they proceeded to give an instruction for me to be locked out. All of us are not allowed access to the court.
So was that the judge who gave the instruction?
Of course, it should be the court, because the security agent refused me access, even the council. The council
is it because you've said that the security operatives have in the past refused access?
In this case,
I'm trying to understand whether it's the judge that said you're not to be allowed
in. In this case, let me paint the scenarios for you. We're in court. Our books, Uganga, our bags are in court. We have already packed them on our tables. Then went outside to resolve issues. Because last we were protesting, they were shouting. And you have to give them attention. These are people that came all the way from Aba, from Imo State, from Port Harcourt, from Enugu, to be part of this team. There are more than 100 of them that were outside. Then few that came up, I need to talk to them. Including that that came from US, who has been here severally. It's not in practice. And there's no law in this country that said a lawyer will not have, even if you are coming from UK, access to the court.
So in the circumstances, what are your options now?
No, the point is that what played out today, I don't think I have any regret whatsoever for it, because it's an eye-opener to us. And going forward, it is clear that not only our client, because our client also protested in open court to the court, that my lawyers are outside. And my lawyer that came from US is here protesting too. And they are talking to me, allow my lawyers to come in. So under no circumstances we have been allowed in. The court was okay, assuming it's the court who is impartial. Assuming it's the court who is impartial. You say, please call a judge for me, let me see him. And listen to him and know what's going on in the court. But in this case, they proceeded to give an order that I should not, that we should not come in. So obviously, my client, by extension the legal team, has no implicit confidence in the court to proceed with the hearing of this case. That's settled. So going forward, we are activating processes to urge my lord today and tomorrow to rescue himself from herself from this case. So I see they will give appropriate directive to that effect. Because it's open now, even before a layman on the street. It's clear that she's partial. So now let me say this to you. This is a case, we're representing a race, not Nnamdi Kanu. This is a case involving Igbos, not Nnamdi Kanu alone. We're representing a race in this case. As sensitive, as serious as this case may be, it shouldn't have been treated with this sense of levity. We're in court. No, we're not that we're dancing. We're even at the court, saw from the camera of the court. He saw from the camera. So you have asked us to come in. If at all, she really wants us to give us opportunity to be heard. Now, that takes us back to what happened on 29th of June, when he was brought to court without us being informed about his presence in court. So it now shows that what happened in court on June 29, when he was abducted in Kenya, and consequently extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, smuggled into court on 29th of June didn't happen by accident.
Right. Well, what I'm trying to establish really is obviously there are discrepancies and there are issues here, but whether or not the issues are due to the way the Department of State Security has handled affairs is one thing. When you make the suggestion and that the court is in cahoots with them and that there is some kind of conspiracy theory, that becomes another question. And you're of course a lawyer, so you have to be a bit circumspect in sort of the allegations that you make. But I mean, let's go beyond that and say, what's the physical condition of Nnamdi Kanu like now? Does he seem well and in reasonably good spirits under the circumstances?
Thank you very much. At last adjourned date, court made an order on the manner guideline for visiting Nnamdi Kanu. This order the court reviewed contained a condition, a requirement that 3 persons can now visit him, 3 persons of his choice. Now, we have an application we filed of late, which has been responded by the federal government. Nnamdi Kanu has not been convicted by the court. He's merely facing a trial. This application was filed pursuant to any new fresh facts emerged after the last adjourned date, because the SSS flouted the court order. They refused people who wished to visit him, including his relatives. I came all the way from Afar to visit him, access to him. We filed this application to tell the court, to inform the court that we can't continue in this manner. I would mean to inform the court we can't continue this manner. Now, this application is pending before the court. Nnamdi Kanu is being subjected to solitary confinement. which is clearly against the Anti-Torture Act, Section 2 precisely, of the law elephant. So he has no access to people. You know what it means for somebody to be confined to solitary confinement? Why is daily exposed to mental torture and physical torture? You know what it means? He has access to any living object, he has access to television, access to human beings. Apart from any day we are coming to visit him, if we are allowed to see him. So he hasn't been convicted. And there's a law that says a person cannot be subjected to this kind of treatment. A law in Nigeria. And we're calling on the court to activate this law. Today, this application is pending before the court. We want to move it today before the court. Apart from the fact we have an objection to the empty charge they file against him. They file for frivolous charge against him. Some count charge. We have filed a very serious application, founded on 34 grounds of objection, which was settled for him to be settled we had today. Okay, assuming without considering to the fact that the court schedule is busy. But let me say to you and also to the world that Nnamdi Kanu's case today is the only case on the court slate in court 2 for Federal High Court today. My Lord Honorable Justice Dako has not a case in court today, requiring her to adjourn this case to January. He has not a case today. Now, we have this objection challenging the competence of the judge to the jurisdiction of the court to hear this case, to continue to hear this case. So, and the Federal High Court, the first direction, 2013, requires day-to-day trial of persons being prosecuted by SSS. And Section 396 of the ACJL also requires day-to-day trial, assuming without considering to the fact that the court schedule is busy. The law says you must hear this case day-to-day. Why can't you adjourn it tomorrow? Why can't you adjourn it next week? Why taking the case back to January 2022?
Yes, because I was going to ask you that, I mean, I'm wondering, these lengthy delays, I mean, they're likely to hurt Nnamdi Kanu more than anyone else. He's locked up in jail. I would have thought the sooner the trial gets going, the better for him, because the impression that we had at the outset was that, you know, you walked out of court and that seemed insensitive to the situation that he was.
That's what we want to correct. We never walk out of court. We're in court. But you have a situation, very serious situation at hand, which we are trying to resolve. Portion to which I asked Nnamdi Kanu's junior brother, Prince Manuel Kanu, he was in court. Even when he stood up to come and call me, the court asked him to sit down. He stood up to come and call us. The court asked him, sit down. Where are you going? And Nnamdi Kanu protested that my lawyers are outside. Allow them to come in. And the court asked him, are you ready to defend yourself in this suit? In a case of this serious nature. So, there's more to it than the eyes, of course you know.
So, do you see the possibility of a negotiated settlement? I mean, out of, you know, a way of getting Mr. Kanu out of this quagmire? Because there's been a lot of talk behind the scenes by concerned citizens from the southeast of some kind of mediated settlement.
Apparently it's not ruled out. But on our own part, we'll not go and sleep.
Yeah, of course.
We must
you have to take the legal route.
We must ensure, I can assure that this matter is heard this month. Obviously not by the same court. We're going to activate the machineries today and tomorrow, to ensure that this matter is assigned to our court. A more neutral court that will handle this case. Why those people who are following up from the aspect of the political resolution of the matter are doing that, I don't think we'll have any challenge, we'll have any problem with that. We are lawyer cannot wait for them. Because in the first place, he has committed no offense unto law. If you look at the charge appears more laughable.
Right.
Than what one can be talked about. It's a frivolous and unfounded charge. Are you with me? So, and we have effectively challenged the 7-count charge. Which first upon the more frustration.
Right.
So, and we believe more in court process.
Okay. Well, do come back and talk to us and let us know what happens next. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lead lawyer for Nnamdi Kanu, thank you very much indeed. You're watching the Arise interview. Plenty more still ahead. Stay with us.